you should never ever do a crunch in your whole entire life. And that's obviously being a little bit facetious, but there's a very, very good reason for it. Your core, the way it's designed, I don't know if I have a chart. The anatomy of it, I'm sure all of you can picture what the human body looks like and how we all want that six-pack. When you look at what happens when a muscle contracts and you look at which ones are contracting, if you compare your bicep to your quadricep muscle, they're both long, right? So they're both long, they have big tendons, and when they contract, you can tell that something's going to move. They look like ropes. When you look at the core and the sort of square abdominal section, when that contracts, it really doesn't look like it's going to do a whole lot. It's going to just compress or contract. It's like a square contracting. You're not going to get movement. And that's the whole point. The core isn't designed to move you. It's actually designed to prevent movement. So if you're training your core by moving, you're actually not training your core functionally, which is the first problem with that. The second problem, and probably the bigger one, is that when you're doing a crunch, you're putting a lot of load on your low back. So on your lumbar spine segments, when you crunch and you flex, the loads can go from 400 to 750 pounds of pressure on those discs. So there's a theory that says that there's a finite amount of flexion cycles that we have in our spine. And if you do it over and over and over, you're really just getting to the end of those cycles. And then at some point, you're probably going to tear through, without getting too scientific, but some of the layers of the disc, and eventually they kind of push back and you get a herniation. So that's obviously the worst case scenario, and it doesn't happen all the time, but it's really is, you're going in that direction. And the question is, why would you, when there's so many better ways to train the core? And